Right, we're joined by Julia again for
Yay!
round two. How are you?
I'm alright, thanks. Are you?
Yeah, really good, thank
Good.
you. So the last time we had you here, we talked about running ultra
Mhm.
marathons. So if you've not listened to that one yet, then what are you doing? Listen to it. Really fascinating. But yeah, we're going to talk about Hyrox today,
Cool.
which is another sport that you do. So,
Kind of.
kind of. So, to anyone who doesn't know what Hyrox is,
Yeah,
what is the best way you would describe it?
it's adult PE basically, isn't it? No, it's
Adult
like
torture chamber.
it's like a kind of like a circuit. I'd class it as circuit training, really. So it's 1 by 8,
Yes.
1 by 8 kilometer runs. So you do a kilometer, and then in between each kilometer you do a station. So the stations are 1K ski erg, sled push, sled pull, burpee broad jumps, rowing, farmer's carry, walking lunges, and wall balls. So you would do a run, station, run, station.
Sounds easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really easy.
Right, we'll go back to the start. So
Cool.
when did I think Hyrox has become popular in the last like maybe 2 or 3 years? It's
Yeah.
actually going on quite a lot longer. But how did you sort of discover it and sort of start getting into it?
Do you know what? I actually can't remember for the life of me how I found it, but I remember just coming across it. So it was probably something like Instagram or TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that looks quite cool. And I've had a bit of a research to it, but like not too much. And I sent it to Holly, my friend, and I was like, oh, do you fancy doing this? There's one in Manchester, and I think it was January 2024, 3,
Four sounds
4.
about
I
right.
think 4,
Yeah.
something like that. And she was like, yeah, no worries, like, but we didn't actually really know what it entailed. Now, if you've done a Hyrox, which you have,
Yeah,
it's
50.
bloody hard. Like, yeah, people laugh at it and think, like, say, like, oh, yeah, it's like adult P or it's like BTEC CrossFit. And, like, yeah, it probably is, but it's also really hard.
Yeah, definitely remove the word beta because
Yeah.
that implies it's easy.
Yeah,
It really isn't.
it wasn't easy. So we did our first one. We did a mixed women's doubles in Manchester, and it was really nice because we got like matching outfits, and we thought, oh, it'll be a nice day out. It was far from, we did really enjoy it, to be fair, but it was very humbling.
Yeah.
We didn't really know. We kind of trained for it, but like we didn't really know how to train for it. And we got to start line, and the first thing we said to each other was, right, we're going to go slow for the first part. What do? We absolutely shoot out the pen. And I saw a video of me on the ski erg from that Hyrox in Manchester, and I look mental. Like, I look psychotic. And I think we were one of the first ones to get to the ski ergs on that one, and that's when I knew we'd really like fucked it here. But yeah, so we like, I think like the first few stations we were like, oh, this is mint, and then you just hit a wall and you're like, I'm gassed. Like, we completely gassed ourselves out. And I remember finishing the burpees and Holly standing like next to like one of the stations, and she was like, "Could you stop for a second? I'm gonna be sick." And I was like, "Oh well, we could just finish here if you want to." And we actually, we didn't stop. We finished the whole thing, and like we looked at each other, we're like, "Never doing that ever again. Like, it's not for us. It's horrible."
Not before.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think the next day we woke up and then we were like, oh, actually, wasn't too bad. Like, we probably do it again. It's like, yeah, type 2 fun, isn't it? Where
Absolutely.
at the time you're thinking this is probably the worst thing I'm ever doing. And then you kind of go back and think, actually, that was quite funny. That was quite funny. Like, I enjoyed this part. And you don't remember the bits that were hard, I don't think. So that was my first one, Manchester, yeah.
Very good. So, when you did your first one and then you entered your second one and then you started training for it, what kind of things did you do differently in terms of your preparation for it?
One thing with Hyrox is you have to get used to running on heavy legs, because you finish a station, you're back to a 1K run. Now 1K doesn't seem like far, but running 1K when you've just done sled push is really hard.
Yeah.
But like your heart rate is up and down, up and down, up and down, especially with things like burpees, where you are up, you kind of go from the floor, you jump, you go from the floor, and your heart rate, I remember my heart rate being about 200, and I thought, well, this is it, I'm going to have a heart attack. Mm-hmm. So running on heavy legs, doing quite a bit of speed work.
Yeah.
And actually doing the stations that I knew I was not very good at, like wall balls and sled pull, because I'd always stick to things that I was actually all right at, which were burpees or skiing, and I do them in my sessions because I knew I could do them. And then I thought, actually, I'm not going to get any better by just, staying in my comfort zone. I need to get out of my comfort zone and do stuff that I actually just don't really enjoy and I'm pretty bad at. And then you start getting better at those, don't you? So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that was kind of another thing that I've done.
Actually, going back to the first one you did in Manchester, were there any stations that you thought not easy, but you were a lot harder than you expected them to be? Because for me personally, when I did my first one, definitely sled push, sled pull, and wall balls, I thought would be my three best ones, and they actually ended up being my three worst ones.
I can definitely agree on the wall balls. Oh, well, it's just a squat and throwing the ball. But it's the last station that you do, and you do 100 of them. But actually, in the Manchester one, that was still the time where women had to do 75, not 100.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
right.
So they first started with 75, and then they equaled them with men's, but obviously the weights were a little bit lower, so it's 4 kilos for women's open and 6 kilos for men's open.
Yeah.
But I thought 4 kilos, that's now. And it felt like the heaviest ball ever. And it got to a point where I was so tired, I actually dropped the ball on one of the judges. It fell on his head.
Serves him right.
Yeah, it does. He was really close to me as well. So wall balls was definitely one. I'm trying to think. One that I thought, I don't know how I'm going to do, but did better than I thought I would, was farmer's carry.
Okay.
And farmer's carry has now become one of my favourite and strongest ones, to be fair. But my least favourite one will probably always be wall balls.
Yeah.
I hate them.
Awful, aren't they?
Yeah, you feel like you're there for about an hour just doing wall balls. You're not. But it's...
Feels like an eternity,
and the judges can be absolute arses with your depth and stuff.
Yeah, you're practically sat on the floor.
Sat on the
floor.
You're
not low enough.
Yeah. I'm literally going to fall. So yeah, wall balls is my least favourite one.
So what was the second one, or where was the second one that you entered? Nice.
Yeah, that was another open one with Holly.
So that was sort of
2024
September-ish?
October, I want to say.
Yeah, rings a bell, doesn't it?
Yeah. One thing that we didn't realise was that it's going to be really hot, because south of France, but we thought, it's October, it'd be cold. It wasn't. It was like 30 degrees.
Was that in an indoor arena, or was it a stadium? Right, okay.
It was indoor, but it was just horribly, horribly warm. But once again, we did women's open, and we did better on that one in terms of time. We kind of knew how to pace ourselves a little bit. But Holly really wasn't well. She had a chest infection at the time, which Hyrox and chest infection really don't go very well.
No.
But because through those few months, I've gotten quite a bit fitter in terms of running and stuff. I was kind of trying to pace, and we had to, which was fine, but we had to keep slowing down.
Yeah.
When you slow down, it throws you off as well.
Yeah, it knocks you out of your rhythm and
your
momentum.
Definitely. And I remember when we got to sled pull, and Holly just could not move the sled.
Relatable.
And I remember doing majority of it, which once again absolutely fine. But then we left the sled pull station, and I was absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
I was like, we're on our third station, and I think I'm gonna have a heart attack in a minute.
5 more to go.
Honestly. But then once again, farmer's carry, brilliant. I flew through farmer's carry. I think we got third best time through the whole competition in farmer's carry. It's as if someone put a rocket up my bum. But then, we kind of figured out that each of us have a different strength. So, Holly's really good at rowing. I'm crap. I'm not very good.
Okay.
I'll do it, but I'm not very good. Whereas she was an absolute unit on it. you know, things like her sled push was really good. She was a lot more efficient with a sled push. Walking lunges, brilliant. Like, she was so good. She was up, down. Whereas I thought my quads were going to fall off. So we kind of started, like, realising that we've got our strengths and weaknesses, really, which worked.
Complement each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Do you feel like, so you've done a few abroad, do you feel like, is there like a difference that you've noticed, could be anything, between the ones you do abroad and the ones you do over in the UK, in terms of like how they run or how the judges are or anything like that? Or even atmosphere or...
I mean, I've done like 2 UK ones. I've done Manchester and Cardiff. And I feel like the judges were worse abroad.
Okay.
As in a lot more strict.
Right.
I'm not sure why that was. I think it's because they thought you were English, and so they thought, well, we'll just do you over, really. But I like them abroad. But I don't know if that's just because you're abroad and it's basically like a mini holiday. Like, you just embedded your Hyrox into a holiday, which I really like about Hyrox. Like, you can make like a bit of a trip out of it, you know, and you go to like nice places, don't you? Like, I mean, you know, what have I done? Warsaw, Rotterdam, Nice. And it's like, you just go away on like a little trip and then you just do a random Hyrox.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not like it takes all day. You know, you're there for like an hour and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
I do prefer the ones abroad, but I think once again it's kind of that
vibe.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is going to sound really cocky, but also like you're travelling to go and compete somewhere. And I know it doesn't matter because no one knows who you are. But it's like, oh, this is quite cool. Like, I'm going abroad to do, like, a sporting event. It's sick.
It is cool,
It's cool, yeah, definitely.
It's definitely a flex,
Yeah, I think the worst part is when the judges start shouting at you in a different language.
And you're like...
And you've no idea.
What they're saying.
Like, we were in France, and on the wall balls, she kept saying something, and I was like, I don't know what she's saying. And, like, she was really annoying me. And I was like, look, I don't know what you're saying to me. And then she couldn't speak English. So I was like, well, we're getting nowhere here because I don't know what you want me to do.
Was she shouting Maryland?
Honestly, I don't know. But, like,
oui.
I mean, French people are rude. Like, even in the competition, you knew which ones the French ones were. They were horrible. Like, they were just shoving everyone out the way. But, like, Rotterdam was a really nice one. People were lovely.
Okay.
I guess the Dutch were just nice, really. It just depends, really. It depends what wave you get. Because, you probably have realised this. People who do Hyrox have massive egos.
Big time. We've talked, obviously, about ultramarathons previously. There's a definite noticeable difference between the people who do ultras, people who do Hyroxes. It's like chalk and cheese, like two
polar opposites.
Very, isn't it?
Yeah, ultras, you've got like really nice people, everyone's really supportive. And in Hyrox, it's like everyone looks at you as if you've just shit on the doorstep. Like, I don't know, they're just rude. Everyone's really rude. Like, you'll get a couple, like, the most recent one we've done was Cardiff, and me and Holly did a pro doubles. So pro doubles is basically men's weights. It's not. It's really not. It's the same thing. You do the same stations, same runs, but the weights are heavier. So the men's open weights. And we thought, like, for it's really scary because we're now probably surrounded by, you know, women who are absolutely brilliant at this, and we've only done the pro doubles because, you know, the open weights were sold out.
Okay.
So all that was left was a pro doubles, and we thought, oh yeah, we've got that. It was awful. It was really fun, but it was really hard. But, like, you know, on the start line, we thought everyone was going to be really cocky, and actually all the girls were like, oh, can you go in front of us because we're going to be slower than you? And everyone was actually really nice.
All right, that's good,
and all the girls were like, oh, good luck, have fun. But about halfway through the race, the double men's pros started, and I'm not joking you, they were shoving the girls out the way.
Oh, really?
They were all topless, obviously, from the start, and all of a sudden, like, this massive wave of these huge guys just started running at us, but they wouldn't be like, oh, sorry, like, I'm on your left, or whatever. They'd literally, like, one guy, like, shoved this girl and she fell over.
Oh, that's
like,
not
if
cool.
That was me, if I shoved someone just by accident, I'd stop and be like, oh my god, are you all right?
Yeah.
No, he couldn't care less.
Yeah,
like, he shoved it, she fell over and just carried on. Like, I understand you're faster, you've just started, you're a lot fresher than us. But you're not in the Olympics.
No, you're not. Like, and just because you're fast doesn't make you any more important.
Absolutely not. Everyone's here for their own reasons.
Exactly.
You don't need to act like that. It's really embarrassing.
Yeah, definitely. I think from my own experience, I didn't see anything like that happen. Well, I say I've done 2 Hyroxes. I've done one and one and a third. Yeah, I would say from my own experience, both Birmingham and Cardiff, I would say 25% of people are absolutely sound, really nice, really supportive. The other 75%, kind of like what you just said, just like
bit rude. And just egos, I think.
Big egos, massively.
I mean, I don't know if this is true, but a lot of people say that people who do well at Hyrox are people who weren't very good at other like sport disciplines and stuff like that. But now they found something that they're good at, they think they're God's work.
Okay.
And even if they are, like, fine, it is impressive. Like, when I see some people's times, at 49 minutes, what? How have you done this in 49 minutes? Like, my runs take that long.
Yeah, without the
stations.
Yeah, without the stations in
between. But that doesn't make you better than someone who does it in an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
You're still, like, do you know what I mean?
Still an achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, you finished it, they finished it. Just be nice. And actually, fair play to those people, because, it takes balls to step on that start line. That start line's awful.
Of course it does.
You're in this Red Bull tent thing.
Yeah.
There's really loud music playing. It's a countdown. All of a sudden, everyone just goes, and it's scary.
It is. It's very intimidating.
Absolutely.
I would say when I was in that starting pen at Birmingham a year and a half ago, most nervous I've ever been by a country mile.
Your heart's in your throat.
Yeah, and I haven't even started moving yet. Just a disclaimer, by the way. When I did Birmingham, I did do it topless. Not because I think I'm built like a turkey. Because it was in the NEC, it was roasting when I was stood just watching.
Yeah.
But when I did Cardiff, I did wear a vest, so I've kind of like redeemed
Stadiums
myself.
are cooler though.
Yes, because it was in the Millennium Stadium, or Principality Stadium. Yeah, it was a lot cooler even with the roof up.
So much nicer. Because
Really
the one in Warsaw was in a stadium as well, and I thought this is like bearable. It's nice, and it was hot outside.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like I'm not sweating like an absolute pig. And Cardiff was the same. But still, it's just like like to qualify for Hyrox, you need to take your top off, essentially.
What? You know what? Wouldn't surprise me if it ends up being at Wembley one day.
It's growing huge. I mean,
isn't it?
It's all over the world now. It's in every continent, I think.
It will be.
There's like Brazil. They're doing a cruise one now as well.
I was going to bring that up, actually. Yeah. What do you think of that? Because I saw it got advertised like a massive Hyrox cruise. That's insane.
You know, that's really funny, because what are people going to do with their Garmin's and the GPS?
Because on the, say if it's like a run, it'll look like
it'll be really funny, won't it? I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, I think that's brilliant. I mean, I'm sure the person who's come up with Hyrox,
it was
balling.
It was some German guy who used to be a professional athlete in some sport. Him and another person.
Yeah, I mean, the concept is very simple, but such a simple concept has made an absolute bank for them.
Yeah, just the marketing and the investment they've put in.
Yeah, like they're sponsored by Puma.
Yeah, concept too.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, if you remember, like a few years ago, Puma wasn't like a cool brand, was it? It was like Nike, Adidas, New Balance.
It was like B-Tech Adidas.
It was,
It was Puma.
But because of Hyrox now, Puma is like a cool brand, and people get sponsored by Puma, and like the buzzing. I'd love to be sponsored by Puma.
If anyone from Puma is listening to this, please sponsor Julia so she can.
Costa.
Yeah, actually, not Starbucks, but Costa. Costa, but not
a matcha.
Not a matcha, because that's like drinking soil. But I've lost my train of thought now. I did have a question in my head. I've completely forgotten it. So let's just ramble on a little bit.
Okay.
This is good, isn't it? What's your favourite thing from Costa apart from a matcha?
A coconut latte.
Coconut latte. That's what I have.
Yeah, it's nice and it slaps.
One of the questions I was going to ask you actually, what is it kind of, in terms of like when you're having your nutrition before your Hyrox, is it kind of similar to when you prepare for an ultra in terms of how much you eat or carb loading,
or
not
is it
different types of food?
I wouldn't really carb load for, because it's like an hour and a half of, it's high. I'd have more food.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have I'd probably just have a little bit more than I usually would on a daily basis, I think.
Yeah, but not like loads.
Not loads. Just because I don't need it for like 5+ hours. I don't need that, those carbohydrates and energy stores. But I also want to have a little bit more, to kind of perform better. But also with Hyrox is, with ultras you always start in the morning, don't you? It's kind of like between 7 and 9 a.m. Whereas with Hyrox you don't know. And I've done loads of different starts. I've done anywhere from, I think the first one we did was like just before 9. So you'd have your breakfast and be ready to go.
Yeah.
Whereas like Cardiff, we didn't start until 6.
Awful.
Which is awful.
Yeah.
I prefer to do things in the morning and then, I can have the whole day. But with like 6 p.m. starts, you need to like really figure out your nutrition. Because you don't want to, my stomach is sensitive as anything.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to have anything that would throw my stomach off and then potentially suffer during the race.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's kind of like awkward. But like in Warsaw, for example, my start was 2 p.m. So I had breakfast and then I was like, well, I'm going to have lunch, but I don't want to have anything huge because I don't want to be sick.
Yeah.
And because it is high intensity, like, you don't want things sitting on your stomach, do you?
That's it. Especially when you're doing burpee broad jumps.
Well, yeah, you'd throw up, wouldn't you? But yeah, I wouldn't have nowhere near as much as I would for an ultra marathon. I think, there's probably not that much need for it. Like, obviously, you would have a little bit more, but I wouldn't have more than, like, if I were to run, like, 16 to 21k, I'd probably have the same amount, really. I've not yet tried. I know people take gels during Hyrox, on the rowers. A lot of people take, and I've not tried that yet. But a lot of people say it really helps with your second part.
Okay.
But once again, because I'm like, oh well, to me taking a gel has always just been like long distance running.
Yeah.
Rather than like a Hyrox, which is high intensity, like a circuit. But like I've seen like loads of like actual Hyrox athletes take it, and I'm like, oh well. If they're doing it, it must
work.
Make sense.
What's your opinion on certain rules, regs, and etiquette? So, got a few examples off the top of my head. Was it Warsaw where a women's pro doubles they got a time penalty for littering energy gel wrappers?
Yeah. So.
Do you think? Firstly, do you agree with it? Do you think it's like too harsh of a penalty, or what's your kind of overall thought on it?
So, I think if they've inputted those rules, fine, no worries. And I think it's fair enough because there's bins. Like, if there's bins, use the bins.
Yeah.
Put them in your pocket or put them in, I don't know, women's sports bra, whatever. There's no need to throw it on the floor. I mean, it is quite disrespectful when there's a judge and you just throw it and they have to pick it up. Like, do you know what I mean? I know you're a pro athlete, but also be a bit respectful.
Yeah, of course.
But also, so the girl who chucked it, she's like a professional runner. She runs like half marathons. I think she's got the England record for half marathon.
Holly Archer, yes, yeah. And somebody else.
And she so she's the one who threw that gel on the floor at the rowing station.
Yeah.
She got the penalty, and it was quite a whopping penalty. I think it was like a 2-minute penalty, which in Hyrox is huge.
Night and day, yeah.
Like, that actually stopped them from qualifying for the Worlds. They went from 2nd place to 9th.
Right.
Because of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And threw their apparatus on the floor, got a penalty. But there was other girls who threw them around the course. Now, to me, throwing them around the course, like you're running around constantly, is much worse.
Of course it
is. You can slip. Whereas with those rowers, no one's going to go back to them. Or you do them once and you come out. But her excuse was, well, in long distance running or like any sort of running races, you can just throw the gels on the floor. So why wouldn't I be able to do it? And I'm like, yeah, fine, but it's a different sport.
Different sport, different rules. Like, yeah.
You wouldn't, do a certain thing in a certain sport because you do it in your main sport. Do you know what I mean? Each sport has its own rules.
Course, yeah.
That's that. But I think if a rule applies to one person, it has to apply to everyone.
Yeah.
But because both of her and her partner are from like running backgrounds, like they've not got the rules kind of in the head. They weren't very strict with things that they were doing, even like the movements on like burpees and stuff. And they kept getting penalties for a lot of quite a few races, so the judges were on them like hawks.
Oh, okay.
So like they had so much like pressure on them, whereas other girls wouldn't.
Okay.
Which I thought was a bit unfair.
Yeah.
But in terms of like open races, like me doing it, you doing it, like someone, just a random day-to-day person doing it, like we said on wall balls, where they're like, oh, your depth isn't good enough. And I'm like, look, I'm not here to beat any world record.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave me alone.
So when I did burpee broad jumps in Birmingham, so I'm doing it, and then as I've landed, my feet have sort of shuffled forwards a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
Wasn't doing it on purpose. It was just kind of like momentum. And the judge was like screaming at me. She was saying like, "Stop shuffling forwards." I'm kind of what you said. I'm like, look, I'm not here to like win the damn thing. No. I'm just here to do it for myself. Definitely. It really doesn't matter. I think like the rules should be stricter in the pros. Mm-hmm. It should be consistent. So that's what the judges need to do. They need to be consistent. But then also anyone who enters it, it's their responsibility to know the rules.
I think it kind of shows though that Hyrox new sport though.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still listening.
It's kind of a new sport, and it still has its teething issues and kind of. I mean, that's one of the issues is like the inconsistency with rules.
Yeah.
But there's loads of different things. There was just one in, I don't know if it was New York or something, where the race got cancelled because of weather conditions. And I think people found out like the morning of or something.
Oh, God.
So they cancelled certain races, but other races kind of carried on.
Oh, okay.
And people like didn't get their money back and stuff. And it was just a bit like, don't
help themselves in that regard.
So it's like that. Obviously, I mean, it's at the end of the day, Hyrox is a business.
Of course,
it's a huge business that's doing very well. I mean, if you look at ticket prices, so when we did our first race in Manchester, which was 2 years ago, I don't know, whatever it was. I think a ticket, it was still expensive. It was like £80 for a single ticket. It's now 130.
I was going to say, it's gone well up, hasn't it?
What the hell? That's more money than certain ultras.
But when you see people comment like, "Oh yeah, they're just money making," like, well, yeah, it's a business.
It's a business.
Another, I can't remember which Hyrox it was, but it's maybe 6 months ago or so. There was one where, trying to think, I think it might have been all of the. People had to queue for the wall ball state. We're at Berlin. Had to queue for the wall ball. So
good.
Some I can't even remember her name, but an influencer wrote a big War and Peace Instagram post like, "Oh, this is ridiculous," blah blah blah. I think what Hyrox had done is they'd paused everybody's time for waiting.
Yeah.
And then she was kind of like, like when you cross the finish line, you get your picture taken in front of a big screen of your time. She was like, "Oh, it ruined the picture." So I was kind of thinking, like, again, if you're in the open, it doesn't matter. If you're in the pros, I get it. You'd be human because it'd be like, imagine if Usain Bolt runs 100 meters and the timing thing doesn't work or whatever.
Yeah, or it stops,
But it doesn't matter to me. I'd be glad of resting for wall balls.
Brilliant. I'm getting rest before the worst part. But yeah, once again, I think this shows the sort of people that Hyrox does attract a lot of the time. I don't know where these egos come from, but these people genuinely think they're in the Olympics.
Yeah.
But they're just rude. Like, I've seen people scream at judges and stuff, and I'm thinking, it's bloody Hyrox.
Yeah. I used to scream at referees when I played football, but that was different.
Yeah. It's just a bit embarrassing.
Didn't you tell me you saw someone screaming at their own partner?
Yeah, this was in Manchester. Me and Holly were like a pair that we would really encourage each other. Like, if, you know, there was times where she would have to slow down and she'd be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and I'd be like, "No, it's fine. Like, I'm not arsed. Like, we're here just for a bit of fun. It's a, do you know what I mean? We're doing something together, and it's a brilliant achievement,
an experience."
And I remember this. There was a you know, I don't know if they were like gym friends or actual outside of, you know, friends, you know, just whatever they were, sisters. I couldn't care less. You don't speak to anyone like that.
No.
And she was like, "Fucking hell, move," to her own partner.
Wow.
Like, why are you doing it so slow? And I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm pretty sure that just must have broken the friendship. And do you know what that actually reminds me?
It was,
I don't know if you saw that video where there was a couple, like a man and a woman. They did a Hyrox, and she passed out on the wall balls.
And a fella carried on.
Yes, I saw that. Without her.
Yeah, wow.
And he was like, "Oh well, she would have wanted me to finish." No, I'm pretty sure she would have wanted you to actually care that she's just passed out. She's just passed out, you absolute mug.
I did see that. That was like,
but once again,
wow.
And that sounds really horrible. He looked like a typical Hyroxer.
Yeah.
And like, she literally dropped on the floor. He finished and ran through the finish line.
Yeah.
And people, like, the audience were like, "What the hell, mate? Like, come back."
Yeah.
Like, why are you running off? She's just passed out and she's not awake. What if she dropped? I mean, this is very, like, you know, extreme. What if she dropped dead?
Yeah.
What if she had, like, cardiac arrest? Oh, yeah. If it was, like... But then you see, like, really nice videos, like, elderly people.
Oh,
like, you know,
absolutely.
Hyrox is, like, marketed as, like, it's a race for everyone. Or a sport for everyone, whatever. And there was, like, a 89-year-old man doing it. And, you know, he walked all the runs and, you know, he did it. But he did it. Yeah. And I think that's amazing.
Class, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I could do that when I'm 89.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I saw, you know, a couple doing it, and the woman was pregnant, and she must have been quite far pregnant.
Okay. Wow.
And I thought, wow, like, that's really nice. So you do see really nice things, you know. You see girls in matching outfits and, like, little skirts and whatever. It's like, oh, this is... It's nice, yeah. It's nice. Like, it's just wholesome. But then some people just really spoil it, and it's actually those people who are really good. And I'm like, shouldn't you be setting an example of, you know, that this should be like a nice, supportive environment?
Yeah, definitely.
And it isn't, like...
There's definitely, like, it's a shame that these kind of things happen, but hopefully it'll kind of become more and more. I mean, it already is mainstream, but you get more and more, like, normal people do it, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
Do you think kind of the way gyms are at the minute, do you think you are getting, like, Hyrox type gyms open up and stuff like that? Do you think that will become... Because my thinking is, like, you get lots of things in the fitness industry that are kind of like a flash in the pan. They're popular for 6 months to a year, and then no one gives a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Hyrox is definitely here to stay long term. We'll still be doing Hyroxes in 20 years' time.
Yeah.
So do you think more gyms should become more Hyroxy, if that makes sense?
I think it's quite a nice thing.
Still listening, by the way.
No, it's okay. I think it's quite a nice thing, you know, to kind of... If people are quite kind of lost with the training and stuff, I think Hyrox is quite a nice thing to do, because it's like, it's running and it's like a bit of lifting, a bit of functional training, essentially. It's everything in one, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of gyms now that are kind of like Hyrox gyms anyway.
Yeah.
And they run like Hyrox classes, etc. But once again, you know, I've never been to one, but people are saying they're becoming quite cliquey.
Okay.
Or, you know, you get, like, paired with, like, a random person that could be either, you know, better or worse than you. Not worse, but, like, you know, they're
different
not as...
ability
yeah,
levels.
they're not as... they're a different ability level. And people, like, take it way too seriously. So I think, yeah, it's a really good idea, but I think there needs to be a different way of kind of going about it, I guess.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be like the new CrossFit, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like CrossFit gyms, and I think CrossFit gyms, there's also going to be the kind of equivalent of that, but they're going to be Hyrox gyms. And I think it's a brilliant idea, to be honest. I think it gets people, if people can't find their niche in kind of like fitness and sport and stuff, I think Hyrox is quite a good one.
I think it's, I totally agree with that. I think lots of gyms where it's bog standard, you've got a cardio section, a free weight section, resistance machines, people just turn up and do their own thing, which is, that's good.
Yeah.
But I think more and more gyms are or should become more about sort of a community type hub.
Definitely.
And I think something like Hyrox would be really good for that, because it's such a hard thing to train for. So when people do it together, it creates that social aspect, it improves people's mental health, builds those relationships, but then also you're kind of pushing each other on, and you just naturally get fitter and fitter, and that's got to be better than not doing anything.
And if you think about it, most gyms will have a skiing, a rower, a sled push.
Yeah.
You can obviously do sandbag lunges. Most gyms have sandbags. Wall balls. Like, these are all things that you can probably do in a standard gym anyway. You've got treadmills. You can do your runs on the treadmills. I know a lot of gyms would do their runs actually outside.
Yeah.
But I think it is quite nice. And obviously, if you've got like a head coach and other coaches, and they can lead the sessions and create like workouts and stuff, you can take inspiration and do them yourself then, and things like that. And once again, it's that community, and people might make friends, and people might actually meet someone they would want to do a Hyrox with, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
And it might just get people into actual fitness, and because a lot of people are, people that prefer to do classes rather than go to a gym and train by themselves.
Yeah.
That's like another class, if you like.
Of course it is, yeah.
Which is nice.
Absolutely. What would you say? I'm going to ask some other questions that I've prepared, that Ryan's prepared. What would you say is your favourite thing about Hyrox? And then also, what would you say is the thing you would want improving the most or change the most, if that makes sense?
I think my favourite thing. My favourite thing is actually, so I've only done one solo race, and as much as I really enjoyed that, because all I could count on was myself.
Yeah.
Like, I think doing it with someone is just so fun. Like,
like
I said, me and Holly have done a few races together now, and even though there's going to be parts where you struggle or they struggle, I think it's such like a nice bonding experience, because you see each other in absolute pits of hell.
Yeah.
And it's nice because, like, I don't know, you get to pick each other up and like motivate each other. It's such a nice feeling when your best friend's going, "Oh, you're doing so amazing," and like, it's really nice. And finishing that, crossing that finish line with someone that you care for, and like, your friend, your partner, whatever. Such a nice feeling.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's kind of like you don't remember the bad parts of that race. You remember the nice parts. So I think, like, the fact that you get to do it with someone, it's not just like a lonely sport. I mean, it can, you can make it, but I would prefer to actually do doubles than do a solo. I think for a solo, it's kind of like proving something to yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas with a double, I think it's always kind of like it's like a nice day out, really.
Yeah, definitely.
The kind of thing that I think needs improving is probably the ticket system. I know it's kind of like, it's like you go into a queue, and you're like immediately 8,000 trillion million in queue.
Yeah.
But because some gyms are like Hyrox gyms, and a lot of them, these people get priority, and by the time these people have got priority, there's literally nothing left.
Okay.
And I understand it's kind of like you can't. I don't know how else they would kind of go about it, but with some races, you just literally cannot get into them whatsoever, and I don't really know how it works and how some people are getting in every single time.
Yeah.
There'll be a release at 1 p.m. You go on to the website, bang on,
gone,
and it's gone, and I'm kind of like, well, how?
I think so. Obviously, you've got your Hyrox affiliated gyms. They have to have some sort of a perk, but it should be like maybe a maximum number of spaces per gym.
Yeah.
So don't give it to every single member, because you might have 100 people a member of that gym. Have it like, say, 5 people or 10 people per gym. it's a little bit like running clubs and marathons. I think each running club gets like maybe 2 or 3 spaces for like the London Marathon, for example. Whereas like, you know, there might be 100 people at a running club. They're not, if they all got that, then people like me who are not part of a running club would never get in. So probably something like that.
Yeah,
really,
definitely. And I think just like the rules, like make it consistent. You know, even for like opens, like, you know, I've seen loads of times where I would do something and I wouldn't get picked up on it, but someone would do the same thing and they would. Or like Warsaw, where I was literally like, even on the photos I looked, I was basically sat on the floor and the judge was like, not low enough, not low enough. And the girl next to me was not even hitting parallel, and she didn't get picked up once.
Yeah, that's,
and I was like,
that's annoying.
Like, yeah, I'm not that arsed, but also it's a bit annoying because why am I getting picked up on it and someone else isn't? It's just a bit like, well, it just makes no sense, does it? So.
Right. Ryan's sent questions. Now, I've not looked at them yet, by the way.
I bet he has.
I actually haven't looked, so this could be interesting. Yeah. And then I've wrote some others as well, so let me just go on here. Okay. Right, he sent 3 questions in. This is Ryan, he's a massive guy. He was on with me a few weeks ago, listened to that one as well. I'll get him on again
pro
in the near future. Pro bodybuilder. And right, so number 1, how do you approach your runs in the rain compared to sunny weather is his first question.
I'll complain about it.
Yeah. And
then I'll just get it done. I think sometimes actually, like, you have to lock in a bit more when it's raining, and it just I sometimes prefer running in the rain. Actually, I don't like to start off in the rain, but a little bit further down, like 5-6k in, I'm like, oh, this is actually quite cool.
Definitely.
And it cools you down. Like, I overheat when I run massively, but in the rain, it's kind of like it just cools you down a little bit, especially when it's warm. I really don't mind running in the rain. Obviously, if like I prefer rain to wind. I hate running in the wind.
It slows you down, doesn't it?
It slows you down. But like with warmer weather, I'd always just take water with me, really, just because I don't want to like dehydrate. It depends on the distance of the run as well. But no matter what, I will always just run in a sports bra and shorts.
Yeah.
It could be Baltic outside.
Yeah.
But I'm not even that bothered.
We live in Yorkshire.
Yeah, it's all right.
Right. Ryan's second question. What's the hardest part of Hyrox that you've experienced?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I just think there's a lot of hard parts.
Whole thing.
The whole thing, yeah. I think it's leaving a station and going into the run. Any station.
The transition period.
Yeah. Especially things like going from a burpee broad jumps into a run. I feel like hypertension is hitting me. Yeah, not hypertension, hypotension.
Lower blood pressure.
Yeah, lower blood pressure. And yeah, I think transitioning from that kind of elevating your heart rate up quite a lot to then bringing it back down and then up and down, up and down. I think the heart rate is probably the worst part.
Yeah, really. 100%. And just controlling your breathing, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, his third question is, I'll just read it word for word. Thoughts on paddle, ? Is it woke? And then brackets, it fucking is.
It isn't. Right, so I've only played paddle like not even a handful of times, and I think it's brilliant. I think it's... I don't understand why people now are slating paddle. Like, it's actually, like, it's a nice social thing, to be honest. Like, you know, we've played like with other people and stuff, and it's just nice. It's a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's people who will take it really seriously, and you know, but like, it's just a bit of a back and forth rally. It's people who can't play tennis, but I think it's really fun.
I've never played it. I would like to try it. Definitely, it looks fun.
Absolutely. You know, like if you know, like with socialising, most people socialise by going out for like a drink or anything to do with like alcohol.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite a nice alternative, really. Like
Definitely.
going out for a paddle, like especially when it's like nice outside, it gets people out in fresh air. A lot of paddle courts are outside.
Yeah.
You get to socialise a bit and you get a bit of movement in. It's a win-win situation, really. Definitely not woke.
Yeah, I'm not on that board either. I can't play Toast to save my life, so maybe paddle is perfect for me. We'll have to get a game sometime. Get Ryan will have to come with us as well.
I think it's genuinely such a nice thing to do.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right, I've wrote down a few sort of quick fire questions. 2-part question first. What's the biggest mistakes people make when training for a Hyrox and on race day?
Training for Hyrox. I think the biggest mistake is people kind of once again stick to comfort zone. And this is what I've done. Like they will do the stations over and over that they know they're good at, but miss out on the stations that they find quite hard.
Yeah.
And they kind of think, oh well, adrenaline's going to push me through on race day. It bloody won't. It won't. You will be absolutely screwed. I think it's just all the mistakes that I make that I've seen quite a lot. A lot of people actually like change their workouts a lot. So like they'll build a circuit one week and then they'll do a completely different one the next week and then a completely different one. Whereas you have to be quite consistent.
Okay.
I think. It's like, you know, running, you're consistent with that. Or like in the gym when you're like doing hypertrophy training, you would hammer the same exercises week in, week out.
Yeah.
You know, to get progressive overload. It is the same concept. So I'm not sure why people keep changing the workouts really. Definitely that. On race day, once again, something that I've done quite a few times now, absolutely belt it out the pen.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of think, well, I feel good on this run. Why would I feel any worse on my 7th run? You will. You'll gas yourself out. I think that's the biggest, you know, when you're in that tunnel, the adrenaline is you know, people are getting really hyped and really gassed and stuff. And you're out and you're out the pen and you think, this is brilliant. Like, I'm going to, you know, you do your first station, first run, first station. You might do the second one really fast, and all of a sudden you're kind of like, Christ, I can't breathe anymore.
That reminds me, actually, when you did Warsaw singles, I had the light
I flew out.
I saw like run 1, 4 minutes 20 or whatever it was. I was like, oh, fucking hell.
I know.
She set off fast, and then the second one I think was like maybe 5 minutes something. And then you were consistent after that. But yeah, that's adrenaline, isn't it?
Yeah,
and all the pre-race nerves.
Because, you know, all the girls were like, you know, get really hyped, and all the girls flew out. I thought, I'm not flying. Like, I'm not going to be like left behind. Screw that. But like the one I did in Rotterdam, I did mixed doubles in Rotterdam, and so that was the fastest race that I've done, which was 1 hour 2 minutes. And I hated every single second of that. Okay. It was awful. Like, I didn't enjoy it. I was chasing around. I think there was not a single 1 kilometre that was under like 4:40.
Ooh.
And I was dying. And I remember being on the rower, and I think I got to like 300 metres, and I was like, I literally am going to fall off this rower and have a heart attack. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, it's a brilliant time, but so what if I had a crap time? Well, not crap, but, like, I can't remember thinking, oh, I feel great. Like, I'm having a really nice time.
Yeah.
All I can remember is chasing around, being on the stations, absolutely gassed. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that by myself, but because my partner was much fitter than I was, like, pulled us through, but, like, I was just, and I also feel like I didn't do enough on the stations. Like, I did the burpees, like, I flew through the burpees by myself, but all the other stations, I was just there.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah.
It wasn't 50-50.
So maybe if you do, like, if anyone's looking at entering a doubles, try it with someone who's, like, similar ability level.
Yeah. Unless you have someone who is genuinely just very, very ambitious, and they do want to get pulled around, but you will suffer.
Yeah, so for the like enjoyment side of things.
Someone, and I think doing it with like a friend or a partner that's nice as well. Like, you know, that once again, I've seen partners that have, like, you know, been pulling their girlfriends around and being quite horrible to them, and these girlfriends are like bloody dogs, tongues hanging out. Like, it's do you know what I mean? Yeah, do it with someone who's like similar fitness level and someone who you probably actually like. That's why. But
it helps, doesn't it? Right, next one. Just Dead basic. What's your most difficult station?
Wall balls.
Wall balls.
It will be always wall balls.
If you could change one thing about Hyrox, what would it be?
Wall balls. No.
Change them to tennis balls.
Maybe. I don't know, actually. I don't think I wouldn't change the layout of it. To be fair, it's a very good, like, all the stations, as much as I hate wall balls,
yeah,
I think it's quite a good addition. And I think because it's the last station, you can see the finish line, it's good. I don't think I'd change anything. It is very well organised. And the stations are quite good because you get a bit of, like, cardiovascular stuff of, your skiers rowers, and you get a bit of strength stuff of, your farmers carries and your sled pushers. I think it's brilliant.
Amazing. Right, next one. I'll unlock this again. If you could go to any city in the world to do a Hyrox and money is no object, where would you want to go?
Rio. I'd love to go to Rio. There's one in actual Rio. Well, there's one now. I mean, I'd love to go to Brazil anyway.
Yeah.
But like putting a Hyrox in there, absolute chef's kiss. Brilliant,
wow.
that wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be lovely. Yeah, I think Rio. It's a big where else I've seen that is quite good. Maybe like Sydney or something.
Okay.
But then the Aussies are absolutely mental with Hyrox. They're so fit. I'd be like, oh god, too much for me.
All surfer dudes.
Yeah, honestly.
What me to fucking shame. Right, 2 more quick fire questions.
Cool.
Who's your favourite character out of The Incredibles?
I don't remember all the names. What's the baby called?
I can't remember.
Well, that's good, isn't it?
I only know 2 characters.
That's going to really annoy me. What's the baby called?
I'll quickly Google it.
See, if you ask me about Minions, then that'd be...
What a film that is, by the way.
Minions. So I'm going to ask me who's my favourite Hannah Montana.
Jack Parr?
Jack, yeah.
Right.
Jack. He's
And
a vibe.
He's a vibe. Right, last one. What would you rather eat? Out-of-date coronation chicken or out-of-date Greek yogurt?
Coronation chicken.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not done me as dirty as out-of-date Greek yogurt. Do you know what, though, when I was running today, so the reason why my hair looks like this is because I've done a rainy run right before this, by the way. So 2 days ago, I ate out-of-date Greek yogurt, and I'm still suffering a little bit now, but actually it's quite good training for the ultra, because my stomach is going to go at some point anyway, isn't it? So I thought, actually, it's just good training for an ultra marathon. Cause
yeah, even throwing up as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, I've got 2 more actually. I've just thought. So, when's your next Hyrox?
Rome marathon with my boyfriend Will. Yay! See, this is going to be like a make or break, isn't it, in the relationship? Yeah. And I'm going to be the worst one, I think.
Get over.
Move! No, I won't. But once again, it's kind of like we're making a holiday out of it, aren't we? Which is quite nice.
That reminds me, actually, I must have deleted it by accident, but I did write on here, and it's not there anymore. Oh no, I did write on here. After you've done a Hyrox, what meal do you treat yourself to afterwards?
Depends where I am. After Cardiff, I had a nice cinnamon bun that one of the girls made, and then I had a KFC.
Nice.
And it really wasn't very nice at all, but it was the only thing in the service stations on the way back. Trying to think. I had a pad thai in Warsaw. That would be you.
Oh, okay.
I think just things that are salty. I need salt. I feel like I lose a lot of salt. So just things that are salty. I've got like a set meal.
I had Chinese food on the way back from Cardiff.
Yeah.
So when you do Rome Hyrox, so when I did Rome Marathon, like
it's gonna be pizza.
Definitely, but also have pistachio gelato.
Oh god, I'll have everything.
Like,
and a Peroni.
Unbelievable.
I'll have everything.
Definitely.
Yeah, it just depends where you are. Like, if you're in Italy, you'd be stupid not to have pizza, pasta, gelato, Peroni. But then, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think. If you do it in place. See, I thought I'd want pierogi in Warsaw, and I didn't. I wanted pad thai. And I was in Poland.
There you go. You disgrace your own country.
I have.
Pierogies,
it's very good. But I think I just needed a lot of salt. I think it's just stuff that are very, very salty, which pizza is, so right.
Definitely. So that's your next Hyrox in Rome in September.
Yeah.
I know the answer to this question, but when is your next ultra marathon?
That was coming next Saturday, 100 kilometres.
Just 100.
Yeah, with much better weather this year. And when I say better weather, it's going to be raining, but I will take that over the absolute horrific heat last year.
So explain to everyone what you did last year for the 100 and where it is this year.
So last year I did 100k in Peak District, and it was like over 30 degrees, and I got really bad heat stroke and almost died. It didn't hit me until afterwards though.
Yeah.
But like it was just really hot, and if you run and you run in really hot weather, you'll know it's just awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there was not enough like fluids I could have taken on. And then this one is in the North York Moors. It's through the same organisation, just because it's so well organised. Like the aid stations are absolutely minted.
Yeah.
So it's the North York Moors. So it's like half of it is through the coast from Scarborough to Whitby, and then it goes off into the actual moors inland, which is great. So I think actually up until 12 p.m. it's meant to, well, the weather's probably going to change about 1,000,000 times until then, so don't quote me on this. It's meant to be quite sunny, which is nice through the coast, and then the rain's meant to start a little bit whilst inland.
When you're in the second half.
Yeah, which is quite nice, because that means that I'm also not going to get heat stroke.
Always a bonus,
which I will absolutely take.
I've just thought of another question, actually. Because personally, I'm really bad at like training for multiple disciplines at the same time. So, like, if I've entered a marathon, I'll train for that, nothing else.
Yeah.
And if I've entered a Hyrox, vice versa.
Yeah.
How do you? Because you seem to be really good at like training for combining the two sports with your training. So, how do you kind of go about that, and how do you make it work for you?
I think because, like, my favourite thing to do is the ultra marathon, so that will always like kind of be priority. But I think because you still run at Hyrox. Here it's a little bit faster. Well, it can be a little bit faster, but you still run, so it kind of goes hand in hand. I don't know really. I feel like to be fair, like before Warsaw, I think I only did like 1 or 2 Hyrox sessions a week, and I've still managed to pull through. It's kind of trying to be smart with doing enough training, but not overtraining.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to burn yourself out. I don't know really. I don't even know how. I've done like 1 or 2 sessions a week, and actually before Warsaw, I was panicking because I was like, have I trained enough? But I think when you've done a few, you kind of, it's more learning the race and how to. Obviously, if you then want to get better, you would just focus on Hyrox, and make that training specific to Hyrox. But because I'm doing it at a very average, pace and time or whatever, I think it's not too bad. And because I've done like a few now, I kind of know how to go about these races now. And as much as Hyrox is hard, ultra running is harder, I think. So I'd rather focus on them, and they're more important to me than Hyrox is.
Yeah.
But also, like, I've only done 1 solo. When you're doing a double, you've kind of got that person to rely on because you split the stations however you want to. And at the end of the day, it's like an hour and a half of your day, isn't it? So it's not awful. I don't know. I don't actually mind training for 2 things at once. I think because I think I've been training for quite a long time. Quite a good few years, like 7, 8 years. I've got that kind of fitness level anyway.
Yeah.
But I've still been doing like speed training and stuff, and I have gotten a lot faster.
Oh yes, your 5Ks on the treadmills. Wow.
I know, absolute machine. But yeah, I think just having like a base fitness level anyway, because at the end of the day, anyone could finish a Hyrox really, even if it took them 4 hours.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, if you get an injury or you're sick or whatever, but like, anyone could finish it at, even if they've only just started, training and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it would take you probably a lot longer than, you want to, but I think anyone could do it, really.
Yeah.
Like, it is quite cringe, how they mark it, it's a sport for everyone, but it really is. You just take it at your own pace, you make it as hard as you want it to be, essentially.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Perfect, right. I think we'll wrap it up there. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you for all of your insight.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Fantastic. Good luck for next weekend.
Thanks, I'll need it.
You'll smash it.
It'll smash me.
It'll smash you, but yeah, you'll smash each other.
Can't wait not to walk.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get the wheelchair out for your week on Monday at work,
I'll need it.
Yeah, you'll be like lined
crippled,
up. Yeah, can't wait to see that.
Yeah, honestly.
But yeah, no, seriously, thank you very much.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Hope you all enjoyed listening to it.
Yeah.
See you in